Hello all, welcome to Amigos IAS Academy. In today's video, we shall be discussing two important topics that are published in the Hindu newspaper. The first topic is about World Trade Organization and second topic is about right to repair. So coming to the first topic, this is the article which is published in the Hindu newspaper. If you are following newspapers daily, you might be witnessing the repetition of the topic about World Trade Organization. So today we are discussing the topic of WTO because of mainly three reasons. The first reason is Trump's motto of making America great again, which is associated with increased tariff on trading partners. The second reason is increased trade wars between China and USA. And third reason is slashing of tariffs on prescriptive medicine to 90% by Trump's administration as part of your MFN policy. MFN stands for Most Favored Nation. So to understand the global developments in world trade, you have to understand the importance of World Trade Organization. So that's why in this video, we will discuss about the World Trade Organization, its structure, importance of World Trade Organization and recent developments in the World Trade Organization. So what is World Trade Organization? World Trade Organization is an intergovernmental body, regulates and facilitates world trade among the nations. It is the only international body which regulates the world trade. It is formed as part of Marrakesh Agreement. Marrakesh Agreement has replaced your GATT with WTO. What is the full form of GATT? GATT stands for General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. So GATT is being replaced by WTO as per your Marrakesh Agreement. And World Trade Organization commenced its functions from 1st January 1995. So this is about the formation of World Trade Organization. Now, what is the need of World Trade Organization? The first one is to ensure free and fair trade in the global markets. And second is to ensure fair competition between the nations. And third function of the WTO is to safeguard the interests of your developing and underdeveloped countries. So these three are majorly important functions of your World Trade Organization. Now, what are the principles on which WTO is based? The first principle is to ensure free trade and market access. That is to remove the tariff and non-tariff barriers which are existing between different nations and to ensure free and fair trade of global market. And the second is promoting fair competition between your nations. And third is non-discrimination. That is to ensure fair and inclusive global trade is the third function. So under your non-discrimination policy, there are again two important concepts. The first one is Most Favored Nation and the second one is national treatment. What is the meaning of Most Favored Nation? Most Favored Nation is under your Article 1 of GATT, which says that every member country has to provide the MFN status to its trading partners. It means that no member country can discriminate amongst its trading partners or give any special treatment to any one of the trading partners. That is your Most Favored Nation status. And second is national treatment policy. What is national treatment policy? It means that the country has to equally treat both the imports and domestically produced goods. So equal treatment should be given to imported goods and domestically produced goods. That is your national treatment policy. I think you understood the difference between Most Favored Nation and national treatment policy. So these are the principles on which WTO is established. Now, the next important concept is what is the structure of World Trade Organization? The structure of WTO has mainly Ministerial Conference and General Council. The Ministerial Conference is the highest authority of your WTO and it meets at least once in 2 years. Coming to General Council, it is the highest decision-making body of your WTO. And this General Council has all the member representatives of the nations. The General Council acts as both dispute settlement body of the WTO and trade policy review body. What is the major function of the dispute settlement body? To resolve the disputes between the nations. And the WTO has mainly three important councils. The first one is your Goods Council, second is Intellectual Property Council, and third is your Services Council. Today, our discussion is limited to your dispute settlement body. So this is the structure of dispute settlement mechanism under your WTO. The dispute settlement mechanism majorly has two provisions. The first is the panel and the second provision is your appellate body. So any member which has any problem regarding the world trade will raise the issue with the panel. The panel will investigate the matter and any appeals against the decisions given by the panel will be taken up by your appellate body. So the first step is with the panel. The panel will decide the dispute and it will give the decision, and any decision which is not liked by the nation can be appealed with your appellate body. So that is the structure of dispute settlement mechanism. Now, let us discuss about your appellate body. So this is majorly established in 1995 and it has 7 members. Who appoints these 7 members? These 7 members are appointed by your dispute settlement body, that is nothing but your governing council, based on consensus. And these 7 members are appointed for a tenure of 4 years. Remember this. And they are appointed based on consensus. Remember this also. What is the quorum required? 3 members. It means that at least 3 members has to preside to decide on any matter which is brought to the dispute settlement body. So the quorum required is 3 members. The total members of judges present is 7 members who are appointed for a term of 4 years and they are appointed based on consensus. So this is the structure of your appellate body. So what are the recent issues with WTO? The first issue is stalemate in trade negotiations. That is, no trade negotiations with the WTO is happening. And the second one is crisis in dispute settlement system. Why are they crisis in dispute settlement system? The first and foremost reason is the required quorum is not present. We have already discussed the required quorum to preside appellate body is 3 members. The required 3 members strength is not present with WTO. Why is it not present? The USA is blocking the appointment of members to your appellate body. As we have already discussed, the appointment is done based on consensus but not based on majority. So as USA is blocking the appointment of members to appellate body, there is no required quorum, because of which the dispute settlement body is becoming obsolete. The third important point is rise in protectionism and plurilateralism. So what is the meaning of protectionism? As we have already discussed, the Trump came into power with the motto of making America great again. With this policy, he is following the protectionism policy. It means he is imposing more tariffs on trading partners like China, India, etc. That is the protectionist policy being followed by USA. Now, what is plurilateralism? Instead of following multilateralism policy of WTO, most of the countries are following plurilateralism. What is plurilateralism? The best example is your RCEP. So RCEP stands for Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. So such bodies are being born because of failure of working of WTO. That is, RCEP is promoting your plurilateralism instead of multilateralism, which is promoted by WTO. And weakening of MFN principle. We have already seen what is the meaning of MFN, that is most favored nation policy. With increased bilateral trade pacts, MFN policy is being weakened. So these 4 are recent issues with working of WTO, which is very important for your mains answer writing. Now, what is the way forward? The first and foremost step to be taken is to strengthen the dispute resolution mechanism of WTO. That is to revive and strengthen your dispute settlement mechanism of WTO. And second is enhance flexibility regarding agriculture. So enhance the flexibility in agricultural policies of developing nations. So these 2 are the steps which has to be taken by World Trade Organization to revive its old charisma. So this is about the World Trade Organization. So the next important topic of the day is right to repair. If you observe, even yesterday we have discussed about right to repair under e-waste management. So the topic about right to repair movement is again published in today's newspaper. So if you observe evolution of consumer rights in India, the rights evolved from caveat emptor that is buyer behavior, to caveat venditor, that is seller behavior. This shows how the consumer rights are strengthened in India. Even if you observe the provisions under your Consumer Protection Act 2019, you will observe many protections given to the consumers. So this right to repair is yet another step taken to strengthen the consumerism or to protect the consumer rights in India. So this is the article which is published in the Hindu newspaper. Now, why is the article in news? It is because a report which is prepared by your Department of Consumer Affairs. This report is asking government to introduce the concept of repairability index. Remember that, repairability index. So what is this index? This index will give score to electronic appliances like your smartphones or laptops based on few parameters. Those parameters are like, what is the availability of spare parts for that particular product, and what are the software updates which are available for the consumers, and is there any mechanism for the consumer to get the appliance be repaired. So based on these parameters, your repairability index will be prepared and the score will be given to different electronic appliances. So this is the concept under this article. Now, this article even mentioned about a new term which you can use in your mains answer writing, that is your planned obsolescence. Planned obsolescence is the new word which is introduced in this article. If you observe, most of the television sets or washing machines or refrigerators which are brought 10 years ago are still working in most of our homes. But what about smartphones or laptops which are brought just before 2 years or 5 years? They have become obsolete in most of our cases. Why is this phenomenon observed? This is observed because selling consumers less durable products intentionally so that they come back to buy a new model. So this is being done by sellers intentionally. So they are selling us less durable goods so that we come back to them and buy a new version of the phone or new version of the laptop, which is not observed previously. So this is the planned obsolescence, means they are doing it with a plan so that to attract the customers to come back and buy a newer version of the model. So this is what a new word which is introduced under the article. Do make note of such words and use it in your mains answer writing. Now, what are the advantages of prolonged lifeline of any electronic good? This we even discussed yesterday's class about how to manage the e-waste. The same points are being repeated. The first is promoting e-waste recycling. So if we increase the life cycle of the electronic product, it will reduce the e-waste, which will be promoting the sustainable living in the planet. The second is regulating the demand for virgin metals that have been freshly mined. Now, if you are using the minerals from the e-waste, then you need not go for the new extraction of minerals. Thereby, you can reduce the demand for new or freshly mined minerals. That is the second point. And third is end consumer benefit of having long-lasting products. So you need not go and buy newer versions of the models, but you can use one electronic product for a prolonged time period. So these three are advantages of imposing the right to repair in the consumer rights of India. Now, what is the way forward? Till today, we don't have any mechanism like right to repair in our India. But if you observe European Union, it has already imposed right to repair in its legislation. So the same has to be followed by India also. Introduce mechanism requiring appliances maker to display average annual maintenance and repair costs alongside the price of the product. It means that along with the price of the product, even include the annual maintenance cost which are associated with the product. This will create awareness among the consumer before buying any electronic product. And the second is resist the companies that seek to monopolize the repair of their products. If you observe, if you take any product, for example, Apple products, you have to get them repaired from the Apple manufacturer only. You can't go to third parties. So there's a monopoly even on the repairing services present in the market. That should be reduced. So monopoly on repairing market should be reduced. And the second is penalizing customers who choose the third-party repair service by manufacturers should be removed. So many manufacturers penalize the customers who go to third-party repair services. So that should be removed. And introduce right to repair as part of the consumer rights. So these three important developments can be introduced in Indian markets so that it will strengthen the consumer rights present in India. So this is the mains practice question. World Trade Organization as a multilateral body is facing challenges on various counts. In the light, discuss the relevance of WTO and also suggest suitable reforms in its functioning. So we have a holistic discussion about WTO. You are able to write this question. Please do attempt. That's all for today's video. We shall meet in tomorrow's video with a new topic. Till then, happy learning.